Hi everyone. So, if you are really interested in learning English and want to speak English fluently, then this video is the perfect video for you. Because in this video, we are going to discuss that how to improve English with vocabulary. Yes, you have heard right. Of course, we will be discussing this in this video. And you also have to keep one thing in your mind that in the ending of the video, I will also talk about 2 pro tips that are really helpful, beneficial, and wonderful for you to achieve the results quickly regarding to English. Alright, so this is Kainat Baloch and let's start the video now. Now guys, vocabulary. My dear audience, vocabulary is something which is very important, of course. Vocabulary is something which helps us to communicate with others, right? So according to my thinking, this is the backbone of the language. If you have a verse, you would ever be able to communicate with somebody, or you will be conveying your message openly to somebody. Why? Because you will have a verse. So it means words are really very much important. Words play very biggest, wonderful and fabulous role in every language. Now see, most of people, and I have heard this thing, that's why I'm saying this to you all, that most of the time I heard this thing from lots of people and from lots of YouTubers that firstly you need to start from other steps like practicing, reading, writing, listening, or something else. But according to my thinking, the initial stage of learning every language is vocabulary. Now let me prove this. See, whenever you will be listening, right? Whenever you will be listening, you will have required some amount of words. For what? For understanding, for getting the points of that speaker. Whenever you will be listening, you wouldn't have a verse a lot to understand. Would you be able to understand a single sentence of that person? Never. Now let's take another example of reading. Whenever you read the sentence, the paragraph, the essay, there you will have also requirement of the verse. Whenever you will not have a single word, would you be able to understand a single sentence? No. Why? Because you don't have a verse. Now this is the common example, right? Now let me tell you that if you people are traveling from USA to China, or from China to USA, or from any country to any other country, what will be required at that point of time for communicating, or for conveying, or for sharing the message of yours to somebody else? Tell me. Grammar rules, memorizing lots of sentences or paragraphs. What kind of things are going to be required at that point of time? Tell me. Of course, words, they would not be important to make the structure of sentence perfectly. And they would also not be important to tell the definition of noun, pronoun, verb, adjective or there. There would only be required the verse. If you will have verse, then does not matter that how you are connecting those words. What would be important would be all about saying and conveying your message to your listener. Right? Now let me tell you all that how much words are required to speak a language completely. There must be almost, according to my thinking, there must be 3,000 words in your mind for speaking a language. Now you all must be thinking that from where you will understand or from where you will get the words, like, let me tell you, because there are a lots of sources from where you can get the verse, a good amount of verse. Firstly, take or buy the basic verse book, basic vocabulary book, because you have to start from very simple. If you will start from the biggest verse, it's gonna be really very much dangerous for you. Okay, so start from very basic verse, and after that, gradually, when your level increases, start taking the biggest steps in using words. You know, whenever you will have a verse, you would be able to listen. You would be not only able to listen, but also you will be able to understand the verse of that listener. And after that, whenever you will be writing, you will also be able to understand what actually you will be writing. All right? And after that, of course, you will be doing this at that point of time whenever you will be talking to somebody, right? So it just means that words are something which will help you to represent yourself confidently, respectfully, and in an inspiring way. So try to have a good verse. All right? Now, if we talk about the pro tips, then first one is make the environment. Now you all must be thinking that how to make an environment. Firstly, let me tell you one thing, that for making some kind of environment or for getting the entry in any kind of environment, you will have to set your mind. Alright? You will have to set your mind according to that thing. Now, how to start? As I told you, that the initial stage of every language are words. Start with vocabulary, and after that, listen every day or read every day, make English friends, talk even alone, practice in front of mirror, write more than limits, think in English, practice more than limits. This is some kind of a process that is going to help you to make a strongest, environment. All right, here we are not only making only the environment, here we are also making ourselves habitual of doing some kind of works. Firstly, this is the way of making yourself habitual. Do, but with the simple things initially. This is the initial stage of yours of doing some kind of thing. So you have to start from very basic and from very simple. Like if you are remembering 20 words per day, initially, then decrease the percentage or the amount of remembering the words. You will never be able to memorize all the words, or you will never be able to use those words while communicating. Alright? So this is exactly how you can make the environment for speaking a language. Number second pro tip is time plus consistency. Now see, giving 20 minutes per day is a better, it's really a better than giving 5 hours in a day. If you are giving 5 hours in a day and then again after a month you are giving 5 hours in a day. Now you tell me guys, that would you really be able to learn a language in this way? Is it a correct or a perfect process? I don't think it's like that. So according to my thinking, what you need to do is all about keeping the consistency. And you have to do this for next few months. Like how much few months? 3 months. Right? Because according to my thinking, it's proved by scientifically. Okay, it's scientifically proved that consistency is something which will be training your mind. If you are keeping the consistency for next 3 months, if you want to be habitual of something, you will have to keep consistency for 3 months. All right? So this was all about today. Hope that you liked my video. If yes, then do not forget to subscribe my video, and do not forget to share this video with your other friends for learning a language beautifully. Bye bye.